Welcome to MMA Unleashed. Your fight news, drama, and highlights unleashed. The fallout from Charles Oliveira's controversial replacement opponent comments. The MMA world was abuzz with the latest drama surrounding former UFC lightweight champion Charles Oliveira. After Oliveira's scheduled opponent, Rafael Fiziev, was forced to withdraw from their UFC Rio matchup due to injury, several lightweights publicly offered to step in as a replacement. However, Oliveira claimed that many of these fighters declined once the UFC actually reached out to them. One of the names Oliveira mentioned was Mateusz Gamrot. But when asked about the possibility of facing Gamrot at UFC Rio, Oliveira didn't seem particularly interested. He cited concerns about having to completely change his game plan on short notice, saying, "So, I was focused on a guy who comes from a striking background, a striker who defends takedowns. So, let's put it this way. With 2 weeks to go until the fight, I have to change my whole game plan." Gamrot responded to Oliveira's comments via social media, saying, "I hear you're worried about my style, even though you had a full training camp. I had none, and still I'm ready to step into the cage. 2 weeks left to prepare, and I'm already in it right here. No excuses. Let's do this." He even posted a photo of himself holding a chicken, with the caption, "The Lion holds the record for the most ground finishes in UFC history. He's afraid to step in with a grappler faced with tears of joy." The reaction from fans on social media was overwhelmingly critical of Oliveira. Many accused him of blatant ducking and claimed it was a horrible look for the former champion, especially after he had just put other fighters on blast for not wanting to fight him on short notice. As one fan commented, "I love Charles Oliveira, but this is embarrassing. I wasn't prepared for a grappler. Gamrot hasn't been preparing for any fight at all. Did you forget your jiu-jitsu at home? Because what if they do something else? It's a disgrace and 100% ducking." It's a tricky situation for Oliveira, who has built a reputation as a fighter who will take on all comers. But when faced with a short-notice grappling specialist in Gamrot, he seemed unwilling to adjust his game plan on the fly. Whether this was a legitimate strategic concern or simply a case of Oliveira ducking a tough matchup remains to be seen. Merab Dvalishvili's harrowing, near-drowning experience. In a revealing interview with Daniel Cormier, UFC bantamweight contender Merab Dvalishvili shared a harrowing story from his childhood. Dvalishvili recounted how, at just 6 years old, he jumped into a river without knowing how to swim and nearly drowned. "What happened was my brother was swimming in a river. I jump river and jump in the river, and I make fun of him, and I can't do same, and you, and then the water take me to deep water. Oh, was fast. Oh, so the current got you the river, just told me, and I was like, can't I, and I was under the water. Shut up. And then my other brother saw me, and you scream, hell. No, I can't scream. I grabbed the one of the big rock under the water, because water was going to just keep taking you out there. And then I was under the water, just hugging but soon after, I learned how to swim to the one." It's a harrowing story that provides insight into Dvalishvili's relentless fighting style and crazy persona that fans have come to know and love. The fact that he was able to overcome such a traumatic, near-death experience at such a young age speaks volumes about his mental fortitude and resilience. Sean O'Malley eyeing title shot against Corey Sandhagen. With the bantamweight title picture in flux, rising star Sean O'Malley has his sights set on a championship opportunity. O'Malley revealed that if Corey Sandhagen is able to defeat Merab Dvalishvili at UFC 320 and capture the bantamweight title, he wants to be the one to challenge Sandhagen for the belt. Yeah. So who main events that? I definitely would absolutely love to be on that card. A lot of people say you versus Corey. Yeah. God. Corey versus Morov. I'm so curious, dude. Oh, I'm so curious how that fight plays out. But the White House card. Yeah. Corey goes out there, wins. I beat whoever's next. That's interesting. That could be. But regardless, I want to fight within the next 4-5 months, whatever it is. So, and then I'll also be ready for that because they said it could be June, could be International Fight Week, said it could be July. So, If I can get one in early next year, end of this year, one of the two, count me in. I want to be on that card. The prospect of O'Malley challenging for the bantamweight title at a potential UFC event held at the White House is certainly an intriguing one. As Robert Whitaker expressed, having a UFC card at the White House would be the most American thing you could do, and an American headliner would make perfect sense. O'Malley has quickly become one of the UFC's biggest stars, and a title fight against the winner of Sandhagen versus Dvalishvili would be a massive draw. Whether the UFC decides to hold an event at the White House or not, it's clear that Suga Sean has his sights set on UFC gold in the near future. Chael Sonnen roasts Conor McGregor's fake presidential campaign. Never one to mince words, MMA legend Chael Sonnen unleashed a scathing critique of Conor McGregor's recent claims about running for president of Ireland. In a video on his YouTube channel, Sonnen called out McGregor for fabricating the entire presidential campaign story. Well, there's one problem with that. Conor, you were never running for president of Ireland. You did not suspend the campaign. You don't have a campaign. You were not returning your raised funds and telling your supporters, maybe next time. There aren't any raised funds. There were no supporters. This wasn't real. Chael Sonnen roasts Conor McGregor's fake presidential campaign. Never one to mince words, MMA legend Chael Sonnen unleashed a scathing critique of Conor McGregor's recent claims about running for president of Ireland. In a video on his YouTube channel, Sonnen called out McGregor for fabricating the entire presidential campaign story. Well, there's one problem with that. Conor, you were never running for president of Ireland. You did not suspend the campaign. You don't have a campaign. You were not returning your raised funds and telling your supporters, maybe next time. There aren't any raised funds. There were no supporters. This wasn't real. Sonnen went on to mock McGregor's recent antics, including his well-documented issues with drug use and legal troubles. He sarcastically questioned how McGregor could possibly be the guy that consults with family when he's blowing coke, getting blown by strippers, running in and out of court dates for this very thing. It's a scathing takedown of McGregor's latest attention-seeking stunt, and Sonnen didn't hold back in calling out the former two-division champion for his outlandish claims. As Sonnen put it, the most absurd thing was thinking that he owed an explanation. Ow, an explanation to who? The parliament never recognized you. There was no vote. There was no ballot. There was no visit to their version of the Secretary of State's office. McGregor's antics have become increasingly bizarre in recent years, and Sonnen's brutal assessment is a reminder that the MMA community is growing tired of the Irishman's constant attention-seeking behavior. Whether McGregor will heed Sonnen's words remains to be seen, but it's clear that the former champion has a long way to go to regain the respect and admiration of the MMA faithful. Concerns raised over Alex Pereira's massive weight cut. As UFC 320 approaches, there are growing concerns about the weight cut of light heavyweight title challenger Alex Pereira. Pereira revealed that he was currently weighing 234 pounds, which would require him to cut nearly 30 pounds to make the 205 pounds light heavyweight limit. This significant weight discrepancy has raised eyebrows, with many questioning whether Pereira will be able to safely make weight for his title fight against Magomed Ankalaev. However, former UFC champion Michael Bisping isn't too worried about Pereira's situation. Bisping suggested that Pereira may have simply been trolling with the 234 pounds weigh-in video, and that the Brazilian is likely just playing mind games with his opponent. You got to remember Alex Pereira is a bit of a troll, and he takes online, right? We all have to eat, and you drink a lot of water, you will get heavy, right? Water fluctuation in your body is like your weight can fluctuate like crazy every single day, depending on what you ingested the day before. He's just had his dinner. He's probably just downed almost a gallon of water. Step on the scale. Look at this, guys, to get everyone talking. Bisping's assessment seems plausible, as Pereira has a history of engaging in some playful mind games with his opponents. The former kickboxing champion once pranked Renato Moicano by posting a video of himself weighing in at 234 pounds, only to make weight comfortably on fight night. While Pereira's massive weight cut is certainly a concern, Bisping's perspective suggests that the Brazilian may simply be trying to throw off his opponent Ankalaev by exaggerating the difficulty of his weight cut. Fans will have to wait until fight night to see if Pereira can indeed make the light heavyweight limit and challenge for the title. Khamzat Chimaev fires back at Reinier De Ridder. In the lead-up to UFC 320, there has been no shortage of trash talk and tension between the fighters. One of the more notable exchanges came between rising star Khamzat Chimaev and middleweight contender Reinier De Ridder. Chimaev, who is set to challenge Magomed Ankalaev for the light heavyweight title, took to social media to respond to De Ridder's comments about securing the next middleweight title shot. Doesn't matter. Same. Khamzat Chimaev. De Ridder had previously expressed his belief that a win over Brendan Allen at UFC Vancouver would secure him the next shot at the middleweight title against Chimaev. However, Chimaev's dismissive response suggests that he isn't too concerned about who he'll be facing next, whether it's De Ridder or anyone else. Chimaev's confidence is understandable given his meteoric rise in the UFC. The Chechen-born Swede has quickly established himself as one of the most dominant and fearsome fighters in the promotion, with a perfect 12-0 record and a reputation for finishing his opponents in devastating fashion. De Ridder, on the other hand, is a skilled grappler who has proven himself to be a tough out for any middleweight. But Chimaev's sheer power, athleticism, and well-rounded skill set make him a daunting challenge for any fighter in the division. As the UFC 320 main event approaches, the tension between Chimaev and De Ridder is sure to continue building. Fans will be eager to see if the confident Chimaev can back up his words and cement his status as the next big thing in the UFC. Thanks for watching MMA Unleashed. Smash that like button, drop your fight picks in the comments, and subscribe so you never miss the next war inside the cage.